On October 7th, Venezuelans will return to the polls to decide whether they will continue down the path of President Hugo Chávez's model of 21st century socialism, or change course by electing the first opposition candidate in more than a decade. Venezuelan elections are less than a month away, and here in the capital city of Caracas, election campaigns are in full swing as they enter the final stretch of the campaign season. Most polling agencies indicate a solid lead for President Hugo Chávez, who will secure another 6-year term if re-elected. Chávez's base has a visibly larger campaign presence in the streets of the capital. They say they have mobilized to defend the government's policies that have put an emphasis on investing a larger share of the nation's vast oil reserve wealth in a variety of social programs called Bolivarian missions that have worked to reduce poverty and inequality in the South American country. Poverty levels have been more than halved, with extreme poverty reduced by as much as 70% during Chávez's tenure, and UNESCO has declared Venezuela an illiteracy-free territory.
Sería que cada persona aquí defendería las misiones y sus misiones, eso hay que defenderlo, porque aquí habían analfabetas, más de 1,5 millones de analfabetas. Hoy en día aquí no hay analfabetas, aquí todo el mundo es preparado, aquí la salud era escasa, usted iba a un seguro, no conseguía una medicina, hoy la tenemos gratis. Usted casa vivía en los cerros, ¿por qué? Porque aquí se caían los cerros y la gente tenía que volver a los cerros. Hoy no. The
umbrella coalition of Venezuelan opposition parties, known as the Democratic Unity Roundtable, or MUD, will be represented by presidential candidate Enrique Capriles Radonsky of the Primero Justicia party. 39-year-old Capriles comes from a family of wealthy business elites and served as the governor of the Miranda state before resigning in June of this year in order to be eligible to run for president. In a break from previous opposition strategies, his campaign platform has not publicly opposed a role for the state in social spending and the economy, instead proposing to follow a mixed model based on that of former Brazilian President Lula da Silva, who himself has endorsed President Chávez in the upcoming elections. This opposition organizer from Capriles' Primero Justicia party says that the Chávez government's policies have not done enough to address important issues facing Venezuelans, and that they have sought to vilify the opposition.
Tiene 14 años siendo presidente, no tenemos logros palpables ni de mejor calidad de vida de los venezolanos, no hay un programa en cuanto a qué va a hacer con el empleo, qué va a hacer con el empleo para los jóvenes, qué va a hacer con las universidades, qué va a hacer con la seguridad. Tenemos un programa de gobierno donde el presidente lo que dice es que va a buscar la nueva geopolítica de Latinoamérica, va a salvar el mundo, va a salvar a los países suramericanos y los venezolanos que creemos que van a resolver nuestros problemas. La última fase de la campaña de este gobierno se ha dedicado a buscar la guerra sucia en contra de los dirigentes del Comando de Venezuela y en contra de Capriles Radonsky. Hemos tenido, la campaña de Capriles ha sido de altura, la del gobierno ha sido de tratar de enlodarlo y de acabar con su nombre y su prestigio.
The Venezuelan opposition has been racked by several political scandals in recent weeks that could prove to cost them dearly as both campaigns race to the finish. An alleged internal MUD document was leaked by a member of the opposition, highlighting their economic plan in the event of an electoral victory, which included privatizations, the deregulation of the financial sector, and a number of other neoliberal reforms seeking to cut back the role of the state. 2 opposition members were expelled from the coalition after publicly voicing their opposition to the plan and calling for a debate, and at least 4 participating political parties have announced their resignation from the MUD coalition. More recently, one of Capriles' top aides was sacked after facing corruption accusations when a video emerged of him secretly accepting money to set up a meeting between Capriles and an unidentified businessman. Romain Migus is a French sociologist who recently released a book detailing an investigation into the MUD party platform, which he says, in spite of their recent public discourse, is firmly grounded in a neoliberal program.
¿Qué ha dicho? ¿Qué ha propuesto? Yo creo que la verdadera pregunta es qué no ha propuesto, porque tiene un discurso mediático donde propone cualquier cantidad de cosas que están en contradicción con su propio plan de gobierno. ¿Qué dice su plan de gobierno? Es un plan muy enmarcado en la ideología neoliberal, un plan donde la ganancia privada se pone por encima del bienestar colectivo. Todo está orientado a la privatización de los servicios públicos básicos como alimentación, salud, educación, pero también la infraestructura vial, las políticas de ambiente, de cultura y el aprovisionamiento en agua y electricidad.
Some of the hotbed election issues this year include housing, with Venezuela facing a chronic and severe housing shortage, crime, with Caracas and other Venezuelan cities said to be among the most violent in the world, and government inefficiency and corruption. President Chávez has also battled with cancer over the past year, and though he has announced a full recovery following a number of treatment sessions in Cuba, some have questioned whether he is healthy enough to occupy the post of presidency. In spite of the shortcomings and setbacks facing the incumbent government, several polls placed Chávez's electoral support at more than 50%, and one of Venezuela's more credible polling agencies, Datanalysis, whose owner openly supports the opposition, puts Chávez's electoral support at just over 43%, comfortably ahead of Capriles by 13 percentage points. Reporting from Caracas, Venezuela, this is David Doherty with the Real News Network.